What is going on, everyone? My name is Dan. I'm about to be reacting to Tom MacDonald, White Boy. This is one of the videos that I have on a list, and I'm going back in time and checking out some of his most important videos that I have recommended by you guys in the comments. So I forget how old this one was, but I think it's like a 2018 one maybe. I don't remember, but we're going to check it out, and I have never heard this before, so this will be a first listen. Alright. Glad I'm finally doing this one too, because I've seen a bunch of other reactors I like watching, and they've done this, and I haven't been able to watch it because I haven't heard the song yet, and I wanted to do it myself. Let's get into it though.
I cannot feel guilty for that I didn't do, but I can understand the reasons why you think that I should. Yeah, I'm white, but I never put your neck in no noose, and I never burnt a cross or hid my face with a hood. You can't just label me racist, cause I'm related to people who did some terrible way back before I was alive. My parents brought me up to treat everyone as an equal. I refuse to feel ashamed cause of my pretty blue eyes. A Nazi.
Alright, the beginning flow, like that first verse, was a little choppy compared to some of his other songs that I love. Still good, but the messaging, super hard. He always gets into it like within seconds, and people are like, whoa, we just turned this on, what is happening? That's one of my favorite things about him, is because it immediately grabs your attention. Oh, sorry, my cat decides he wants to leave. He was sitting on my lap like I'm like some evil villain from a movie.
White supremacist. Anyone who labels me as that because of my family genetics. The hatred for Caucasians is so pathetic. Go be proud that you're black, but don't hate me for some credit. I'm not the white devil, neo-Nazi, cop trying to pull the trigger. You can call me what you want, but I'd still never say the white race as a whole ain't the enemy. There's racist white people, but we're far from that collectively. White boy, don't say.
That's the thing. So a lot of people have a hard time accepting that, and basically just attribute anyone who is white or of privilege has some sort of vendetta against everyone else. And like, I just don't understand that at all. Like, how are you going to get to a point of, you know, actually living in a world where we don't have to deal with all this shit if you're just going to constantly attribute these like things to people who actually aren't like that? You know, we should all be able to come together to be able to point out these specific instances of, you know, racism and different negative things going on in the world without trying to demonize people who have nothing to do with it at all. And, you know, everyone has different ways of going about it, so you can't, just because someone's not doing it the exact way you want, doesn't mean they're part of the problem, or you can attribute them to, you know, whatever you're claiming. It's just, doesn't help your point, and you're not gonna like get anyone, you're not gonna get more people on your side by acting that way.
That white boy, oh you so bad. White boy, you wish you were black. White boy, dear white boy. White boy, white noise. I can't say it with my white voice. White boys, white lies. Don't tell me how to see it through my white eyes. If a black man is sipping on some cognac sitting next to me, I don't assume that every black's favorite drink is Hennessy. I don't dislike Tanisha because her first name isn't Stephanie. Not only is that wrong, it's a waste of energy. Ivory or ebony, 45 or 17, we all bleed the same. Martin Luther King or Kennedy. They're angry, I'm reciting the facts. He's white and he raps, he stole the culture right from the blacks. Okay, he's fire, but we lit the flame, he's siphoning gas, so this.
These like older videos of his seem like this was back when he was getting a lot more heat, I guess, for trying to rap, and because he was really gaining popularity back then. It was when it was, I guess, first all starting. And it seems like a common trend of him basically saying like, get off my ass about this shit, like I am who I am. Like, you're trying to like throw all these names and characteristics and tell me I am what I am, and you don't even know me.
Corny little honky man, the whitey is whack. You letting history perpetuate the hatred within, and then you paint me with the brush you painted slave owners with. Yeah. White boy, don't say that. White boy, oh you so bad. White boy, you wish you were black. White boy, dear white boy. White boy, white noise. I can't say it with my white voice. White boys, white lies. Don't tell me how to see it through my white got a mother, a father, a sister, an auntie, an uncle, and a grandma that I picture when you're openly hating. And God willing, one day I'll have a kid of my own. I refuse to let you blindly hate my wife and my baby, so go ahead and hate the races. I pray for their extinction. If you wanna hate the white people, just make the distinction between the ones who want the best for everyone regardless, and the ones who build the system just to smother you with hardship. Stop before you say it.
So that is a huge point right there. It's like, you want to go hate racists, go right for it, you know? Like, you're trying to hate on all white people. You don't make the distinction between ones who are just living their lives and ones that, you know, are directly racist and directly, like, trying to just be that shitty kind of person. It's like, there's a huge difference. You got to be truthful. You can't just widely label people these things. It doesn't make any sense. It's counterproductive.
I know what you've been thinking. How's a straight white male in 2018? You're making me the villain by demonizing my race for things I didn't do and decisions I didn't make. No one that I call a friend has ever owned a slave, and neither did our dads or our dads' dads. Sakes, acknowledging atrocities were wrongly committed is all that I can offer while I'm wrongly convicted. I would never hate a man for what God gave him in pigments, and I would never plot against him just because he is different. I would never judge a human for the cards he was given or call him lesser than myself because of the race that he's mixed with. White people that you hate aren't your neighbors or lawyers. They're the Rockefellers, Rothschilds, Bushes, and Royals. They're the people who monopolized the water and oil and injected your communities with drugs that they spoiled. Got no patience for Nazis. I think they're better off dead. They're fighting hatred with hatred, making the hate more intense.
What I find really interesting is a lot of times when people try to make the argument of like big, like mass, like systematic racism in this country now, and it always ends up boiling back down to more of a class issue and not necessarily a white and black issue anymore. And because we've had such a long history of race issues and race relations in this country, it still seems to stick around that topic. But I feel like when you have a long enough conversation and you really go into the details of it, has really shifted into more of like, you know, a rich versus poor situation. And there is definitely a lot of that, I believe. That is a bigger issue than the white versus black, at least in today's standards, you know. There's a huge conversation that can be had about all of that. I'm not saying racism doesn't exist, but like when you're talking about a systematic system of oppressing people, it's more or less rich privilege versus poor, you know. I think that is the better conversation to have. And I think if you really start going down that road, there's also a lot of, you know, togetherness that can be called out of that, where if you really start calling it what it actually is and stop trying to blame the person who is living next door to you, living the same life as you, but saying that they somehow are like the problem, that's going to cause more division in your own home. And the people who don't have to deal with that are the rich people who don't live near you. So
I don't want nothing to do with either side of the fence, so don't blindly attack me for wearing braids on my head. Hate the people who believe you put yourselves in the ghetto. Hate the ones who teach their children you ain't because they said so. Hate the ones who think you're all the same and judge you profusely because the way that you're portrayed on our news and in movies. Being white and being racist aren't the same, man, I promise. No, it's hard to tell the difference if I'm just being honest. I deserve the chance to show you I'm not part of the problem, and you owe it to yourselves. We got so much in common. White boy, don't say that. White boy, oh you so bad. White boy, you wish you were black. White boy, dear white boy. White boy, white, no I say I can't say with my white voice. White boys, white lies, don't tell me how to see it through my white eyes. White boy, don't say that. White boy, oh you so bad. White boy, you wish you were black. White boy, dear white boy.
that was a very unsettling video. There's a strong message in it, but it was it was very simple, but at the same time it was almost hard to watch, if that makes any sense. I don't know if you guys feel any similar kind of way about that. But yeah, that's he always has some intense songs and intense messaging, and I love that about him because he's not afraid to speak out. And he makes a lot of sense. If doesn't matter who you are, if you listen to him, like he makes points about everything, but he is who he is, so he's singing about or rapping about like his story, his message coming from his point of view. And a lot of people get mad at that because he's white and talking about race relations, which is like you're not allowed to do if your skin is a certain shade. It's absolutely ridiculous because if you're going to completely alienate a certain race of people out of the conversation, how are you going to ever make things better with those people? That's the same thing that just goes into politics in general, whether it's like left or right. When you're going out and you're like ridiculing people and trying to like basically say that they're stupid, or even worse, saying that they're evil, it's like, I don't know, it just kind of defeats the whole purpose. Like for me, just when you're trying to convince someone of something, or not even convince someone, if you're just trying to settle an uneasy situation, why do you want to take it to the next level and, start making things hostile? Because you're not going to fix anything there. But the issue now is just people love to thrive off of confrontation, and fighting is a lot more entertaining and interesting to people than actual conversation. And in the age of the internet now, where we live with most as much information right in your face every single second of the day, every day, as we do, it's just like everyone's mind is driven to the most entertaining and the most like clickbait bullshit possible, and just real conversation and real things that can actually solve problems are not interesting because we just want to see like our people win. We just want to see us win the argument, us win that battle. It's like we're so we're more connected now to people than ever, but it also seems like we're the most disenfranchised and most separated we've ever been, at least mentally. It could be because it doesn't feel like you're talking to real people. If you go into the real world, people act a hell of a lot different than they do on social media. I mean, it's starting to bleed over a little bit, but then that's where you see a lot of discourse coming out because people don't function like this in the real world. You bite your tongue and, you live your life and you accept people kind of for who they are and you move on. But online, there's like no repercussions. And then when you see people going into the real world, acting the way they do online, it stands out and it's like you just see craziness going on. And this has really been starting to fire up over like the last 5 years. It's crazy to be alive and watch this all happening in real time. But yeah, that was Tom MacDonald, White Boy, not to be confused with White Boys, which is his new song he just released on his new album, which is The Brave. I got his CD here, got the hard copy, got that extra music that I still can't listen to because I don't have a CD player, but I will eventually. I will one day hope to get a CD player because I bought it. I want to hear it. And someone mentioned that Tom's cool with people doing, full reactions to his albums. So I'm definitely going to be trying to set that up as long as I can make sure my recording software and my camera is bulletproof. So it's not going to just shut out in the middle of the video, which I'm sure you guys, if you've been watching any of my videos, has happened multiple times. I don't know why it does it, but that's besides the point. I'm looking forward to doing that. But make sure you leave your thoughts about this. I'm cool. I love having good discussion in the comments. But make sure you also give me more recommendations for Tom and other artists that you want to see me react to. Thank you for watching this. Make sure you hit the like button if you like this video. Please subscribe. I'm almost to 500 subscribers. I'm really excited about that as well. What else? Yeah, I think that's it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. And thanks for checking out Tom with me. So I will catch you around.